Discovery, go at throttle up. Discovery, go at throttle up.
When our descendants look to the stars, perhaps from a rocky moon or colonies floating in open space, they'll remember this time. When they reflect on where it started, they'll remember this place. And when they honor those first explorers who said, "Let's go,"
This is Blue Moon.
they'll remember these bold steps. We are of Blue origin. And this is just the beginning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ariane Cornell, and on behalf of everyone at Blue Origin, I am thrilled to welcome you to First Human Flight. It's a big day here at Blue Origin. 4 astronauts will launch to space and back on board our New Shepard rocket, which has safely flown 15 successful consecutive missions leading up to today. Today's launch represents a number of firsts. This launch will be the first time a privately funded spaceflight vehicle has launched private citizens to space from a private launch site and private range down here in Texas.
Private rockets from private soil?
It's also a giant first step towards our vision to have millions of people living and working in space. All the accomplishments with New Shepard directly help the development of our orbital vehicle, New Glenn, and our lunar program, Blue Moon. We're a human spaceflight company at our core. And by building a vertical takeoff and landing rocket first, we've been able to scale that technology up. And you might ask, well, why did Blue set out to do this?
I'm going to boost the audio real quick, guys.
Because we need to build a road to space, and it all starts right here. We'll talk more about how New Shepard is helping our other programs a little later in the show, but first let's talk about who's on board today. This is our crew. In their flight suits with their first human flight mission patches.
Cool, man.
They have completed training and they are ready to go this morning. Right in the center, of course, is our founder, Jeff Bezos. He's dreamed of going to space since he was a little boy. Jeff will be seated in seat number 6, right next to the hatch. Jeff invited his brother Mark Bezos to join him on the journey. Mark will be seated in seat number 4.
Doug?
And since there are 2 Bezoses flying today, Mark's call sign is going to be DEMO. That is an acronym for his kids' first names. And the other astronauts' call signs are going to be their last names. You'll hear that, of course, over the radio later today. In seat number 3 in the capsule, Wally Funk. Wally has been trying to get to space her entire life. And today she'll surpass John Glenn, American hero, as the oldest person to reach space at the age of 82. Oliver Damon, occupying seat number 1, will be the youngest person to have traveled to space at just 18 years old. He joins us from the Netherlands. So today we have both the youngest and the oldest people to have ever flown to space. How about that? What a crew do we have for you this morning? Each of our inaugural crew will be receiving an exclusive Omega watch as a gift, which will fly with them on their historic flight to space. And each watch will be engraved with their name, the flight number, and a unique Blue Origin feather on the back, something to remind them of today's mission for years to come. This one they've donated to me for the day, but sorry, Omega, you may or may not be getting it back. Sorry, not sorry, actually. Now, these soon-to-be astronauts have been down here training for a couple of days now. And the great thing about New Shepard is, since it's autonomous, just about anybody can fly on board. We designed it this way from the very beginning, so the people on board can sit back and enjoy the ride of a lifetime. Let's take a look of some of that training from the last 2 days. This training is meant to get you comfortable with the vehicle, get comfortable and familiar with the sights and the sounds, and learn how to maintain a safe mission.
Watch, Dan?
Again, it's autonomous. We're not teaching you how to operate the vehicle, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. You know, I actually recently went through this training, and I gotta say, the training is a lot of fun, very informative, but also, very importantly, you build these bonds with your fellow astronauts, and you create these stories together. Now, my crew of astronauts, A-S-T-R-O, capital N-O-T-S, astronauts, we were the fake crew. We called ourselves the prequel penguins because we were the last rehearsal crew, and we wouldn't be flying. But again, these are the types of stories that you walk away with. And, you know, at the end, after that training, I felt prepared to fly. And when I say prepared to fly, I felt confident in my own abilities to participate and enjoy the flight, but also confident in Blue Origin, the team, and most of all, this big, beautiful rocket that we built with safety at its core. It was a great experience, and obviously one that I highly recommend, but next time though, I'm not just stopping at the training, I'm getting on top of that rocket. But while we have a moment here, I want to acknowledge the entire Blue Origin team who has made first human flight possible, so many of whom are following along today at watch parties across the country. The biggest one will be at our headquarters in Kent. There they are. It is early. Good morning, guys. They're going nuts already. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Team Blue. You guys are in for an amazing day. Amazing day. I love it. I'm not really a morning person, but you know what? This is a really good excuse to get up. Let me tell you, it's going to be a big day. All right, down here in West Texas, a little earlier today, our astronauts arrived at the Astronaut Training Center. And standing by outside the Astronaut Training Center is our on-the-ground correspondent, Caitlin Dietrich. Good morning, Caitlin. What is the latest?
Good morning, Ariane. I'm here in front of the Astronaut Training Center, and I gotta tell you, outside here, it is a beautiful day. It could not be nicer for a rocket launch. I'm looking right at the rocket on the pad here. We're all getting a little emotional and pretty excited. And at about T-minus 2 hours down here in West Texas, the astronauts arrived here. They got out of their truck, and they walked into the training center. There was no frowns on any of their faces. Everyone was smiling. The energy was high. Wally Funk was basically skipping into the training center. I think they're going to have a good flight today. And what they're doing inside is just getting suited up in their flight suits. And they're going to do, final kind of mission briefings just to get kind of refresher here in the early morning hours. And then at T-minus 45 minutes, when they get the go to load, they'll walk right out this door, get into this Rivian, and be on their way to space.
It's still cool.
Thanks, Caitlin. I imagine Wally Funk was more like doing cartwheels into the astronaut training center, and I highly expect her to be doing the same to the Rivian trucks. That woman, her energy is infectious, and she has all the reason to be excited today. As we said, she's been waiting her entire life to get to space. All right, we're going to be checking in with Caitlin a little bit later for more updates. But right now, let's turn our attention to the rocket. She's right behind me, just a couple of miles north from where I sit. Now, New Shepard is named after Alan Shepard, the first American to go to space in 1951. 61, that is, 50 years ago. And earlier this morning, as you can see here, New Shepard left the barn and traveled to the launch pad to prepare to go to space and back. This time, of course, with astronauts on board, including our very first paying customer, Oliver Damon. Now, back inside the barn there, I should note that we do have a second rocket, and we have had several paying payload customers on previous flights on that rocket. We will continue to fly future payloads on that dedicated rocket for that. The rocket that's over my shoulder here, that rocket will be dedicated to flying astronauts this flight and going forward for many more to come. This day here at Blue Origin is the culmination of years of testing, learning, and safely proving out the system across 15 successful consecutive missions. With that in mind, let's zero in on New Shepard, the importance of safety and redundancy, and how we got to first human flight.
For New Shepard, we've been following an aggressive step-by-step approach from the beginning. The first time we flew New Shepard, we demonstrated every single aspect, re-entry, parachute deployment, and that mission was 100% successful for the capsule. M2 was about rolling in changes and flying it again. This time we stuck the landing, but we needed to show we could do it again. So that was what M3 was. For M4, we pushed the envelope, lighting the engine just seconds before it would impact the ground, and we perfected it at that time. In M5, we intentionally did not deploy one of the main parachutes, and it worked perfectly. We had done a pad escape test that the capsule can launch and escape if there is an accident on the pad. The M6 mission was about testing that at its most stressing condition. We ignited the solid rocket motor in flight and showed that we can recover the capsule safely. For M7, what we introduced was a new capsule design. M8 was just a repeat, and then the third escape test was to show that we could escape in space. So on M9, the capsule lit off its solid rocket motor and landed safely. M9 and M13, we are flying payload missions for customers, giving us even more and more confidence in the capability of the New Shepard system. 13 was a perfect flight, preparing for the M14 mission, another verification and check. We're ready for first human flight.
All right, fellas, look, I'm gonna say one thing real quick. All right, I'm gonna say one thing real quick. Look, today,
Discovery, go at throttle.
you know, let's enjoy the moment, and let's just leave it at that, dudes. Please, for the love of God, you guys know, because and I'm saying it because only the regular viewers are here now. When the big crowds start coming in, and they will, you know there's going to be people left and right that are going to weigh in on what they think about Jeff Bezos, etc., etc. Just let it roll. Like, mods, purge people if you have to, if they break any of the rules. Just let's not. Just enjoy the moment, man. This is a pretty big moment. This is a high-profile thing for spaceflight. Every major news organization is covering this, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Jeff is just a small part of this, man. Just a small part. You know there's going to be people coming in and they're going to be like, well, Jeff Bezos, I don't like him because X reason. And I'm sure that's not unwarranted, I guess. I understand. I get it. There's people that don't like him. I get it. But that's not what today is about. Today is about a commercial spaceflight company launching people into space. That'll be the third time this has happened in history. And yeah, I get it. It's not orbit. I understand. I know the difference between an orbital flight and a suborbital flight. It doesn't change the fact that this is a very difficult thing to do. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. The other thing is that launching people into orbit's probably a little bit harder. I get it. This is still tough. It's still a tough thing to do. And, you know, putting people on a rocket is nothing to scoff at. So, once again, just enjoy the moment, dudes. Please. Don't make my mod's job harder. Don't make it harder for us. Let's just sit here and enjoy it. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Gonna have a lot of fun. Don't use this as an opportunity to weigh in on your however you think about this. Just enjoy it, please. That's all I'm gonna say. Just please, let's have some fun, okay? This is cool. It's very cool, and it's very good for spaceflight. You can get mad at Chat Series if you want to, just don't do it in here. All right, let's go.
Much more than it's going to ever experience in flight. Really, the flight is kind of easy on the vehicle.
Fantastic. I want to turn our attention for just a moment to
the
next vehicles in our fleet of programs that we've got going on at Blue Origin. New Glenn and Blue Moon. New Shepard really is is built into the DNA of those programs as well. We don't just stop with New Shepard. We're going orbital, we're going to the moon, we're going to beyond. Why don't you talk about how New Shepard supports those other programs?
So New Shepard is just a part of the entire story of Blue Origin. Really, if you set out just to make a space tourism suborbital vehicle, you would not have built New Shepard. It would be overly complicated. We selected the architecture of New Shepard so that we could build a vehicle and technologies that would allow us to gain practice and develop those technologies for those other vehicles. For example, vertical powered landing. It's a very complicated way to land a vehicle, but it is very scalable. And if you are going to a place like the moon, you're going to have to do it. You can't land on the moon with wings. Deep throttling engines, you need that to land on other planets, and then also liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen propellants. They're very high performing, the highest performing propellants they are, and you can also extract them from lunar water.
Yeah, Mayor.
So again, New Shepard, very important part of everything that we're doing here at Blue Origin. Of course, we're going to have an incredible suborbital tourism program. We've got a wonderful payload program with many customers who have already flown, but this is just the beginning of many great things to come at Blue Origin. Now, I want to go back.
Dutch guy, how do you feel about Oliver Damon on there? He's no Wubbo Ockles, but also he's no Wubbo. Doesn't have a mustache. But if he had a mustache, he'd almost be.
What meets the eye, right?
Absolutely. So every system on the New Shepard vehicle that is needed for safety has one or more backups, many backups in a lot of cases. So let me give you some examples. So we've already talked a lot about the escape system, and that will activate, in case there's something wrong with the rocket, it will activate and propel the crew away and land safely. We've talked about the parachutes. There are 3 parachutes. We've designed the vehicle to land if only one of those parachutes opens. But that is just a start. Every valve on the vehicle, every mechanism, every battery, every sensor, every wire, every flight computer, everything on the vehicle has a backup, and in some cases, multiple backups.
An incredibly redundant vehicle. Last question for you. Would you put your kids on board?
We set out to design this vehicle for anybody, not professional astronauts, anybody with very little training, and that is a very hard problem. And yes, we have succeeded, and I would put my own kids on that vehicle.
All right, one day, summer vacation in space. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate the insights. I look forward to seeing you back here later on in the show, and we'll get a lot more input from Gary Lai, again, the architect of New Shepard. And with that, let's take a breather, check out New Shepard on the pad as we tick closer to first human flight.
Ooh, that camera quality, though. Very nice. Wow, that is a crisp picture. I agree, Dan. Gonna be freaking sick. I'm still waking up, dudes. Yeah, see that piece right there? They gotta remove it before flight. Do you know how I can tell? Because it says remove before flight on it.
All right, everybody, if you're just joining us, this is Blue Origin's first human flight. We're down here in West Texas coming to you live. We are T-minus 1 hour and 10 minutes to go until Jeff Bezos, Mark Bezos, Wally Funk, and our first customer from the Netherlands, Oliver Damon, rocket to space and back.
I do.
The excitement is palpable down here at Launch Site 1 in West Texas. But I want to keep things moving for you, so why don't we take a closer look at the aforementioned astronauts, the Bezos brothers, Jeff and Mark.
If no launch window, why so early? Because Jeff's an early bird? I don't know.
Your relationship with this planet, with humanity, it's one Earth. I want to go on this flight because it's a thing I've wanted to do all my life. It's an adventure. It's a big deal for me. I invited my brother to come on this first flight because we're closest friends. I really want you to come with me. Would you?
Are you serious?
I am. I think it would be meaningful. Have my brother there.
I wasn't even expecting him to say that he was going to be on the first flight. And then when he asked me to go along, I was just awestruck.
Seriously?
If you're willing, if you want to.
God.
Yeah.
What a remarkable opportunity, not only to have this adventure, but to be able to do it with my best friend.
I love you. I love you too.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Family. James.
What a cool story. Brothers sharing this historic
Apologist.
experience together. Now, Mark has been part of the Blue Origin story from the very beginning. He's been with us every step of the way, and we're so excited to see him on this first human flight. You're taking a lot of us up there with you, Mark. But we're not stopping there. Second human flight and beyond are already in the works. And you know, since the auction on June 12th, I've had the good pleasure of speaking on the phone with many of the participants from the auction who now have been quickly filling up seats for the next several launches. Sales are open, everybody. If you're interested, send us an email at astronauts@blueorigin.com. And we're planning 2 more flights this year, and as we said, many more to come in the years following. Folks, this is an authentic rocket ride. You're in the crew capsule, launching 100 kilometers up over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space, and safely back to Earth. And what a crew capsule it is. Let's take a look.
How much? What?
For your once-in-a-lifetime journey, you will travel past the boundaries of Earth's atmosphere and into outer space. Featuring windows that comprise one-third of the capsule's surface structure, the largest windows ever in space, you'll have a view of the curve of the planet and the vast darkness.
Help me, I'm stuck in Earth's gravity well.
The capsule has been precision engineered for your safety and comfort.
Hey,
with
Chief.
reclining seats
What's going on?
specifically designed to absorb the impact of landing, and an escape motor that can safely propel the capsule from the booster rocket. At the apex of your flight, you'll experience weightlessness. Unbuckling from your seat, you're free to explore different...
Dude, it really seems like something out of a video game, man. Does it not? This seems like an E3 trailer. But
This is the beginning of a revolution.
this is like real. That's the thing, man. This is real. That exists. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty hype on this. That's pretty neat. There it is. Right there, dude. It freaking exists.
So yeah, our crew capsule is pretty sweet.
I love it.
Very spacious. I should note that
they did that on
that crew
purpose.
capsule has 10 times the volume that Alan Shepard had on his flight to space. And of course, you notice those big, beautiful windows in comparison to poor Alan, who just had essentially a little porthole to look out of. Our astronauts today are going to get an amazing view. You know, today, as we mentioned, it's just the first of many flights to come on New Shepard for that capsule. And let me tell you, as somebody who was at the recent live auction for the very first seat on today's rocket, people want to fly to space. We had nearly 7,600 people from 159 countries registered to bid. Huge global interest. And it was just
want that extra
incredible
legroom, Dan.
to
I'm
be
a big
in the
guy.
room
I need the
when the
exit row.
winning bid was called at $28 million. All that money went to Blue Origin's Club for the Future.
Right, Sushio?
It was truly
You ain't
a
wrong, dude.
stunning day for which we are extremely grateful and extremely humbled.
Yeah, Hazanku.
Now,
You
for
get
those
the
of you
rocket
that are less
experience
familiar
this
with our
thing,
Club
bro.
for the Future, you might ask, what is Club? Club for the Future's mission is to inspire younger generations to pursue career in STEM and to help invent the future of life in space. The club and its collaborators are doing this in many ways, like sending student postcards to space on New Shepard
No, I'm
and
with you on
back,
that
sending
one.
them, posted them, flown in space, of course. They've also been establishing space-focused curricula and providing access to space on Blue Origin rockets. And just last week, Blue Origin decided to spread the love. Blue Origin and Club for the Future announced that these 19 nonprofit organizations you see on your screen here will each receive $1 million from the $28 million. Incredible to see all of.
Hey, Challenger Center's on there. Hell yeah. Space Generation Advisory Council's on there. Space Camp? Yeah! Planetary Society, Mars Society. Hey! Good on
Road
you
to
guys.
space, so
Good
that
on
the
you
future
guys.
generations can unleash their creativity. And one of the things that we have to do is inspire young people to build the future of life in space.
We're from Blue Origin. We are going to be sending some postcards to space.
The Club for the Future?
So, guys, I've been reading something. I was reading something about Blue Origin and how and what they're doing. Like, so I've said this once, but I've said it on stream a couple of times in the past. Blue Origin has been around actually longer than SpaceX, but the thing is that they were kind of like on the back burner for a really, really long time. They were on the back burner because Jeff was running Amazon, right? Obviously. But he stepped down from Amazon. And what I've heard through the grapevine, and this is just whispers on Twitter, I couldn't find an official thing for this, but what I've heard now is that he's going full force on Blue Origin. Since 2017, he's cashed out Amazon shares to the tune of $1 billion a year to fund Blue Origin. Blue Origin has had a crash course in hiring people left and right, poaching people from SpaceX over the last 4 to 5 years, even poaching some people from SpaceX to get, New Shepard and New Glenn and the lander and Blue Moon lander up and running, which is pretty insane. I mean, it's pretty cool to have some guy with that much cash, gung ho about space. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's pretty neat.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Hey, AP, launch hype. And I mean, the guy's throwing out millions. He donated $200 million to the Smithsonian, the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, and raised all that money for. They gave all the auction money away, that's pretty gnarly, man. No, they're not on board yet. I don't know if they're going to do fueling first or not, guys. We'll find out though. How long are they going to be experiencing
thank you again, everybody, for
Couple
joining
minutes?
us live from West Texas. We're here at just 1 hour and 2 minutes to go until launch. We are quickly approaching our first live glimpse of today's astronaut.
Just Space, he started I've heard through the grapevine that he's going ham on Blue Origin now, which is like, all right, that's pretty nutso. So like I said, watch out for these guys, dude. I don't think it's Gratitim Ferociter anymore. I don't think we in Kansas. I don't think they're the turtle anymore. No, I'm just going to keep going, Bella.
Seventh member of each astronaut
They fuel
crew.
it before boarding.
Now, it's a two-person role. And here's some footage, in fact, of Kevin Sprague and Sarah Knight, our current crew member 7s.
Right, Supercraft.
We'll have that for you in a second here. So Sarah and Kevin don't go to space themselves, but they're critical team members that stay with the crew every step of the way, including as voice of mission control to the astronauts during the flight. So it's basically like they're in the capsule with our crew. And you're going to hear on today's flight Sarah as Capcom, or capsule communicator. And as I mentioned earlier, I've gone through astronaut experience training, And I can tell you, the crew member 7 roles are essential. Kevin and Sarah met me as well as the rest of the crew that I had during training the evening that we arrived in El Paso, Texas, and we were in great hands, in their incredibly competent hands from the beginning to the end of our journey down here in Texas. So,
what does Blue Origin plan on doing? Tech Guy, Blue Origin doesn't want to. It's not like SpaceX. It's not like just go to Mars, all right, or establish a transportation system. What Blue's looking to do is colonize space, not colonize a planet, and that, in that regard, it makes their architecture a little bit make a lot more sense. You know what I mean? They're looking to, like, Jeff Bezos wants to make like O'Neill cylinders in space, and like build like cities out in the asteroid belt and stuff, which is pretty hardcore. New Shepard and New Glenn and the lander are just the beginning, dude. It's gonna get crazy. Trust me on that one. And I don't just say stuff, I don't just say like, oh, they're doing, he's just saying that because, Twitch is under the Amazon umbrella. Hell no. No. I wouldn't steer you wrong on this one. Stuff's gonna get nuts here in a second.
Going through the training to really see how it had progressed over time. A number of us did a review of the training early on, and I'll say that our training has
that's what I'm saying,
reached such a really great spot for the astronauts. Our human factors team has provided a lot of input. Our CM7 team has spent so much time really focusing on what is important for them to first safely get through the experience and then just really enjoy their time up there.
On that one.
So it was vetting the entire
Yeah,
experience and making sure that we cover the right aspects of it.
Spin it to win it, dude.
I also got to be an astronaut, but I didn't get to do the next kind of critical step, which is getting inside of the capsule on top of the rocket when it's fully fueled, fully loaded, like we did during.
So, if you're wondering who Ariane is on the right, the host of the show, she's Blue Origin's head of sales. So she's the one that sells New Shepard and New Glenn to people and stuff. Ariane is very smart. She has an MBA from Harvard. Amongst other things. Yeah, I've met her before. Ariane's cool. Space nutcase. Like, nutcase. Like, space nutcase. Game recognized game, you know what I mean? You know when you find another person that likes space and you're like, hey, you, nice. Yeah, AP, I've talked to Ariane before. She's very cool person.
It was very mechanical because of the training that we had gone through in the simulator, and we sat down and strapped in, and it wasn't until then that you're waiting for the crew to do the checks and empty out the cabin of the various equipment that you kind of look out and you realize like how high up you are,
where you are.
and you could feel the vehicle swaying a little bit on the launch mount, like that rocket is ready to launch. And when it closed, I remember thinking before, like, oh, I'm going to have all these clever things to say to Gary, because we've worked together for so long. And, like, I couldn't think of anything. It was just like, I want to go so bad, Like, can you lock the hatch from the inside?
We were wondering if you guys were going to do a little stowaway situation. Sorry, there are cameras.
I know. Yeah. So it was just this really rich sensory experience being in there from all angles. Yeah.
Well, so... you are now head of
Euler, I told you it'd be better.
Flight Admission Ops. What does it feel like this day that we're actually putting people on board and we're closing the hatch and we're keeping the people in the capsule to go to space and back? What does that feel like?
Well, we've spent, in recent weeks, we've finalized a years-long effort called our Human Flight Certification Plan. And it culminated in an extensive review, over the last month, with external reviewers and our FAA partners were involved, and it was the culmination of the entire program, years of work on this program, and I was so struck by how much work has gone into this across the years and across the disciplines.
Greg, how high is it
and
gonna go?
the people in that
feet.
room kind of
Higher than
finalizing
that.
all of these check boxes.
That's
It was
62 miles
just
that
an
way.
overwhelming sense of the history that we had collected of this
It's going
program.
up there, man.
And I was so before I came to this position in New Shepard, I supported New Shepard.
It's not into orbit, Minecraft.
And I knew the hard work that was going on in this program, but I have been so struck by just the professionalism and the bias for action and just the critical thinking that everyone
goes 10
on this
miles
program
higher, 10
puts in. And
miles
I
higher. That's
have
16
been
kilometers
awestruck by
higher.
people that I have been working with for years. I mean, I knew what great work they did, but
100
being
kilometers and
part
change,
of it
Greg.
and part of this team, I'm so honored
flies
that they
high, man. New
wanted me in this
Shepard's pretty
position, and then I'm participating in this now. Yeah.
Well, Audrey, to you and to your team, to the whole Blue Origin team, thank you for all of your hard work. We cannot wait to see the launch, and Godspeed, New Shepard.
Thank you. I can't
That
wait to
ain't
see
me,
it
guys.
either.
Audrey offers such great insight into New Shepard.
Platinum?
She's also a pilot herself. Oh, and the chair of the Commercial Spaceflight Federation. She's had an incredible impact on space legislation and policy in some major ways, as well as a major impact on Blue Origin. So thank you to Audrey. She's kind of busy today, so we're very proud to have had her on stage just a couple of days ago. All right, we're at T-minus 55 minutes to go until launch. Let's go ahead and check out New Shepard as she gets ready for her flight today to space and back with our first human flight crew.
Okay, so it doesn't look like they've fueled the thing yet. Oh, no, they started fueling from what I can tell. See the haze that's coming from the top of the rocket? Yep. The lines are chilled down. See the frost accumulating on the lines? That means propellant's moving through. For scale, how big is this? It's not a very big rocket comparatively to an orbital class rocket. I'd say it's about the size of, I don't know, maybe an Atlas V upper stage, so like Centaur. It's about as big as Centaur with a Starliner capsule on top of it. It's a suborbital rocket, guys. It's not very big. It would need a first stage about 3 or 4 times the size of this to get up into space. But that's more what New Glenn is about. I mean, to put it into a little bit of perspective, guys, New Glenn could put this thing fully fueled into space. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Blue Origin's new rocket that they're working on is a 7-meter core with a methane first stage, liquid methane, liquid oxygen first stage, 7-meter in diameter, and about, I don't know, 60 meters tall, give or take, with a Hydrolox upper stage, 7-meter diameter as well, and about, I don't know, 20 meters tall, 7-meter payload fairing, reusable first stage. The second stage has twin expander cycle, B3Us, a derivative of that engine right there that's flying on this, which is, once again, it's no joke. That's nothing to scoff at. 60-ton payload capacity, reusable. So it's about comparable to a Falcon Heavy, which is nuts. That's crazy out of the box. That's crazy numbers. What are those windows and doors made out of? Perspex or something, probably Minecraft.
Astronauts are inside the astronaut training center. Right. We are waiting for them to exit to get in the Rivians, and then we will be waiting for a go for astronaut load-in. I can already hear the helicopter above that's going.
Lucas, you know NASA's building SLS, right? They're building the biggest rocket that humans have ever made right now. NASA's working on that, and it's built inside of the hangar. Lucas, here.
It's a really cool simulator. Some of you may have seen in the past, we've had a mock-up that we've been able to take to various events. But the simulator that's in the astronaut training center is kind of a step above, a step beyond, because in it, we are able to
everybody,
simulate
y'all can
the
scoff at
sounds,
SLS
the
all you want,
vibrations,
but
the
it's built.
full crew
It's freaking
screen
built
and alert
inside of the
system
hangar
that
right
we
now,
have,
inside of the VAB.
for every single seat.
I
And
don't
so
know what you'd be
during
scoffing
the
at. The
training,
rocket exists.
you spend a lot of time, of course, understanding with crew member 7, understanding the general New Shepard
Trying to find a
system,
good picture of it.
all of the procedures, ingress, egress, and getting to know the Blue Origin team. But you do spend a lot of time in that crew capsule. And as mentioned, we go through these simulations of the flights and of all sorts of different scenarios so that our astronauts feel comfortable, as we said, so they can sit back and kind of enjoy the ride. Enjoy this incredible experience. They've got these huge windows right next to them.
That's the upper stage
We
right
want them
there.
to be
Payload
focused
goes
on
on top of that.
view, focused on feeling the G's as they come on.
Look at how big that sucker is,
You know, you're in
dude.
these beautiful, nice, soft, reclined seats that disperse the G's. It's a wonderful experience. And that simulator, we run these scenarios. We've got
Super
full
heavy.
audio. We've got full vibration.
Exists.
And it's a.
I mean,
it's a
SLS
really
is much closer to
critical
flying in a fully
component
operational
of the
capacity than
training
Super Heavy is at this time, but SpaceX does go
program, let's
fast.
say. Now, we also, of course, we will take them out to the pad the day before launch. We want them to walk up the crew access tower. You'll see it's hidden a
SLS,
little
the core
bit in
stage
that
is bigger
shot
than the
there on the
external
left
tank, dude.
there, but that
Way
is the
bigger.
safety shelter. So
What do you got,
we'll
PY?
see as the astronauts drive out to the pad itself, they will ascend the stairs.
It's a
the
great
set of
time
stairs
for
on
rockets,
the left.
dude. So that's what I mean.
We'll
Just
take kind of
enjoy
a
it,
bit of a
man. It's a
timeout
great
in the
time for
safety
rockets.
shelter.
This is freaking
The crew member
sweet.
7, Kevin Spro, will go out to the across the bridge there to the tower that's in the center of your screen. He will be working with
Never a
the
dull
tower
moment,
crew there.
Dutch guy, yep.
Make sure
Notice me,
everything is
senpai.
set and
Side
sorted
note,
to
how
go
do you
for
keep
our
up with all of
astronauts.
us?
He will then go back
Got good at
to
speed
the,
reading, I guess?
to the safety shelter and get the astronauts and get them ingressed into the capsule.
G-load for the
astronauts right now, though,
start,
they're
Swishio.
in the astronaut training center. Again,
good
we are
username.
waiting for them to emerge shortly here. We are at T-minus 49 minutes
That's
to
right,
go
Sion,
until
right?
launch. Again, they are going to be entering into their Rivian trucks and heading out to the launch pad. This will be our first glimpse of the astronauts. We're going to see those shining smiles of theirs. I'm sure they're trying to contain their excitement. You know,
That'd be
you've
pretty
got
nice.
that excited energy that, of course, they are controlling themselves. Although, again, let's be honest, Wally Funk doesn't control her excitement. As I said, fully expecting her to do full somersaults and cartwheels on her way into the Rivians. And why don't we just wait here?
The commentator, that's Ariane Cornell. She is the what's her job title? Hold on, I can get it. Give me one moment. She is the business development director for Blue Origin.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for New Shepard's first human flight. We are waiting for our astronauts to emerge from the astronaut training center. We've got our on-the-ground correspondent, Caitlin Dietrich, who is just outside of the training center. Caitlin, what's going on out there?
Caitlin is director of communications for Blue.
So you can really feel the energy start to build now. We've just heard that everything's continuing nominally towards launch. The countdown is moving forward. We've got our helicopters in the air waiting to capture our astronauts as they take their Rivians to the launch pad. The sun's coming up. It's a beautiful morning. Our teams are going to be standing on the road, hooting and hollering as the astronauts drive by on their way to the tower. And I'm starting to get goosebumps over here, and it's a little bit emotional. But we'll be back in just a couple minutes, and we'll watch these Astros as they head out into their truck and on their way to space.
Fantastic. Thanks, Caitlin. We'll send it back to Caitlin in a moment here as we wait for those astronauts to emerge from the astronaut training center. You know, I'll tell you, the last thing that they do before they exit the training center is there's this special coin ceremony. It's a challenge coin that's given to each one of the astronauts for them to take in their suit up to space and back. It's a military tradition, but it really makes you feel like you are part of a team, and what a team to be part of. What a crew to be part of. Only New Shepherds astronauts are going to be able to get these coins. You only get the coin if you get to go up to space and back. And these astronauts, again, have completed their training, and they are ready to become the next set of international astronauts. So again, we're waiting here for just a moment.
That's cool.
While we wait for the astronauts to emerge from the astronaut training center. We are at T-minus 46 minutes to go until launch.
All right, we should see roll out to the pad sometime soon here. Come on, V-Dub, get him! Rivian, Minecraft. Design your division's coin for OIF. I have this right here, Hazanku. It was given to me though. Given to me by a friend, and I dropped it. Okay. No, they're not in yet. They're gonna be heading to the pad soon here, Biz. No step on rocket. No step on rocket. Sorry, it's still early, guys. No, we don't want to hodl. Do not hodl with rocket launches unless you have to. Oh, we're in a hold. Oh, that's what you were saying. Don't hodl me. No step on rocket. Today space will no longer be virgin territory. Underrated comment, Nord. Underrated comment. The whole thing comes back, Ant. Yep, the whole thing comes back. First stage lands. This is pretty cool.
Go and throttle up.
Yeah, I know, Sobs. I told you Blue wouldn't do us wrong with this stuff, guys.
We would like to yes, airline.
There's no scuff. Somebody asked if there's any scuffing.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for New Shepard's first human flight. We are at T-minus 45 minutes, and here the astronauts come.
Rivian, though.
There you see Jeff Bezos in the foreground, Oliver Damon stepping into the Rivian. Crew member 7, Kevin Sprogg, there on the right. As well as Wally Funk. What a moment for her.
I kind of like the Rivian. That's pretty cool.
At the age of 82, she will become the oldest astronaut to have ever flown into space.
All right. It's
and
a
there
nice
she
generator.
is loading into the Rivian.
Caterpillar's like, yes,
Wally was part of
the
Mercury 13 program back in the 1960s. The program to train women to go to space that ultimately was canceled, but now it is her moment. Today is an incredible day for her.
The Rivian, though. Yeti is going, yes, 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 right now, yes, yes. thing will take off. Watch this. Ready? Look, it's got manufacturer plates on it, dude. That's not a plate you see every day. CMFR manufacturer plate. Cool. What is the Rivian? It's an electric
All right,
vehicle.
now we're going to be waiting for mission control
Truck.
to get a go for astronaut load out to the pad.
Who built them?
That's
Rivian.
when they will.
Amazon,
the Rivian will
Amazon
start
invested
heading
in
out
Rivian,
towards
guys.
the pad. They're actually going to pass right behind me here. I'm certainly going to give them a wave. They then will pass mission control. Get some last-minute love from our team there, as well as their families, and then they will head down the road to space to the launch pad, and we'll go for load-in. There they go, everybody. What a moment. You can probably hear our team already losing it down here. We are super excited. And there they are. High fives from everybody. What an incredible moment. They're coming over here just behind my right shoulder.
I don't know. It looks like an awning or something, Hillness.
A moment we've been waiting for here at Blue Origin. So much hard work has led to this moment.
I kind of like that. I kind of like the Blue Origin Rivian. That's pretty cool.
How exciting. Wally Funk, the Bezos brothers, Oliver Damon, our 4 crew members are heading out to the launch pad. There they go. See you guys.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, they are in for the flight of a lifetime.
Why would it have an awning on it for overlanding?
And just a couple yards to my left here, that is mission control, and here they go passing by mission control. There you see
Yeah, Jada,
Jeff
I'm with you on that
Bezos
one.
waving to the team.
Ferd.
And they're going to hang a
Ferd.
left there.
He's 18, Lucas. That's right. How long's the
as
drive?
they
It's a
head
couple
down
miles.
the road to space.
All right, gun it. Let's see what this thing can do.
Now, while we watch them travel down that road to
Khalid
space,
perfect?
they've got just a couple of moments.
No.
It's a long 2-mile road there. We've got a couple of moments. Why don't we meet aviation icon Wally Funk?
Yes.
You're in zero gravity for 4 minutes. You come back down. We land gently on the desert surface. We open the hatch and you step outside. What's the first thing you say?
I will say, honey, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'll give you a
Mint.
I've been flying forever,
I'll do it, Comban.
and I have 19,600 flying hours.
That's a lot of flight
I
time.
have taught over 3,000 people to fly, private, commercial, instrument, flight engineer, airline transport, gliding, everything that the FAA has, I've got the license for. And I can outrun you. Back in the 60s, I was in the Mercury 13 program. They asked me, do you want to be an astronaut? I said, yes. They told me that I had done better and completed the work faster than any of the guys. So I got a hold of NASA 4 times. I said, I want to become an astronaut, but nobody would take me. I didn't think that I would ever get to go up. Nothing has ever gotten in my way. And they said, Wally, you're a girl, you can't do that. I said, guess what? Doesn't matter what you are. You can still do it if you want to do it. And I like to do things that nobody has ever done.
We're going to fly
That
up
right
into
there.
space on the very first
That right there,
flight.
man.
That's your
I can't tell people that are watching how fabulous I feel to have been picked by Blue Origin to go on this trip.
You're going to be an astronaut.
Oh, finally!
Yes!
And I love every second of it. Woo! Ha ha! I can hardly wait.
She's too busy flying to change the TV,
We
guys.
are just so thrilled and frankly honored to help Wally Funk finally realize her dream of going to space. Now, recently
that
I was
can-do
lucky enough to
attitude.
spend a couple of moments
pretty
with her
awesome.
right here at the desk. Why don't we take a look? Wally, it is a pleasure to meet you. As a fellow pilot, you are an inspiration, so thank you.
You don't know how great it is to meet you, that you are a pilot. I want you to go fly more in that glider and And jumping.
Oh, well,
that's great.
And hopefully follow in your footsteps and go on New Shepard one day.
Absolutely. Oh,
I mean,
yes.
So, Wally, you've waited a while to go to space. A silly question, but are you excited?
No, not at all. Of course. Since I got on the airplane and I got to fly the airplane and get here and meet all of you, this is so fantastic.
So on launch day, what do you think is going to be the most exciting thing? What are you looking forward to the most?
Lift off, climb, undo,
Countdown
and be
resume.
able to move around in the. If there's room, I want to do a lot of stuff because I've done that in other situations.
And you were just telling me a second ago, you're going to take your camera up there and you've got a postcard that you're going to take a photo with.
That is what's going to be on the window when I go up, and then I'm going to take a picture of it with the Earth behind me.
That's such a beautiful photo of you and the American flag back there in your flight suit, and that's going to be a spectacular photo. So, you know, this is probably, I imagine, your first time down here in West Texas at our launch site.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
No, I used to be in Texas and teach. I think everything's fantastic. I mean, I've been treated so well, and the food is so great. I can't believe it's coming from, I don't know, California.
Right.
And you're lucky to be here with all these friends and the people and.
Nah, Jimmy, she flies the plane.
See what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, so, Wally, as I said, you've been an inspiration to me. What would you say to the next generation of young people that are out there that want to go to space?
Well, I've talked to young people all my life. How many of you girls and boys want to fly? Well, not many raise their hands. I said, well, I tell you what, get your parents to take you out and give you a flight. Right. That's what my parents did at 7 years old. And if you like it, you'll continue on. And if you don't, you might continue on because something's going to be in your heart that's going to want you to do that.
I cannot wait to see you go to space. Thank you for being with us. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
So yes, as you just saw, Wally Funk is the real deal. I was doing my best
That's
to
nice.
my fangirl moment there because she, again, is an inspiration to so many people around the world, and myself included. We see here that the astronauts are starting to ascend the crew tower. There's Wally waving. She's leading the crew. Gary, welcome back. It's good to have you back here at the desk to get you to help with the play-by-play here. We just saw a moment ago that they drove around the ring road, stopped, took a photo because, of course, you know, we were going to memorializing this moment as best we can for these astronauts. They so deserve it. So going up the tower, we've got Wally, then it looks like Jeff Bezos, his brother Mark, and Oliver Damon. They're heading up to their rocket.
No elevator?
Now, while we have a moment here, I do understand that Caitlin Dietrich is standing by at Mission Control. What's going on outside Mission Control, Caitlin?
Hey guys, Caitlin here. I'm with Jarrett Jones, the head of our New Glenn program here. Jarrett, how you feeling today watching the launch here from Mission Control?
Excited, awesome. This is amazing. It's just incredible. You could only dream about this day. And you know what, Caitlin? It's not lost on me and probably many of the viewers that today is like July the 20th, the day Neil Armstrong, who also graduated from my alma mater, Boiler Up, stepped on the moon and made history. And we're doing it at New Shepard and Blue Origin with our first human launch. And it's just amazing. And the reason I'm excited, but also focused, is that there's quite a bit of technology transfer from New Shepard to New Glenn. Everything from the BE-3 engine with the LOX and the hydrogen all the way down to our landing gear. I mean, this is an exciting day for us, and I'm just excited. I don't want to take the spotlight away. It's about New Shepard, and I'm just very proud of this team and then Blue Origin as a whole. I mean, just amazing day, Caitlin.
Well, we like to say that New Shepard is basically the second stage of New Glenn, so you're kind of seeing the second stage fly here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. New Shepard was built and designed for scalability, and we took advantage of it in New Glenn. So it's amazing feat that we're doing, and just proud to be here. Just glad to be here, Caitlin.
So smart. It's the epitome of our step-by-step approach, as you hear us say. And I want to pan back to Mission Control. We've got a lot of our team here on the porch here. Hey, guys! We are so excited. We saw the astronauts fly by here just a second ago, and right in that room is some of the world's most brilliant engineers flying this rocket today. And I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get a little bit emotional. So back to you, Ariane, and we'll see you after launch. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Thank you, Caitlin. Enjoy the launch. Jarrett Jones, enjoy the launch. Everybody out there outside of Mission Control, as well as in Mission Control, enjoy the launch. Gary, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Caitlin touched on it just a second ago, how basically New Shepard is being scaled up to New Glenn. Tell me how you've thought about that, because you're part of, obviously, New Shepard, the architect of New Shepard, but you've been part of thinking about the broader roadmap, if you will, that Blue Origin has.
That's right. New Glenn is a scaled up version of New Shepard. It does use different main propulsion for the first stage, but the second stage of New Glenn, that engine is a derivative of the BE-3 engine that's flying New Shepard today. And the techniques for vertical landing, which we perfected with the New Shepard vehicle, are going to be applied to the New Glenn vehicle. We have very high confidence that the very first launch of New Glenn will stick that landing on the ship. We would not have that confidence without the New Shepard program.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Jarrett Jones, again, who leads that entire New Glenn program, he has a big job, but he's gotten a lot of help. He's kind of gotten this catapulted help from the development and now the operations and flight of New Shepard. I should note that New Glenn will also carry humans one day. We build all of our programs from the very beginning with the intent to put people on board. And talking about astronauts and people, we just saw them enter into the astronaut safety shelter. I would like to highlight one thing, which is, Wally was saying that she could outrun you. She was the first up those stairs and first in the astronaut shelter. So she, no lie, that Wally Funk, she's got quite a bit of energy. People, she's 82, but I'm convinced every time I read that it's a typo, that she's actually 28, because again, that woman. All right. Gary, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening in the shelter, because we should remind our viewers that on the last flight that we had, we basically did a full-up rehearsal of what we're doing right now. You were part of that astronaut crew that we had. What happens in the shelter?
Yeah. So the shelter has two main functions. It's a shelter in case of some kind of emergency. If they need to evacuate the capsule very quickly, they can go across the bridge only about 75 feet and be in this shelter very fast. It is fireproof. It can handle a whole set of anomalies that might happen with the rocket. You see those blue tanks against the wall? The shelter has its own air breathing supply in case of a fire outside. It also has communications. They can talk directly to Capcom from there. Right now, they are just waiting for the go-ahead from the pad crew that is preparing the capsule to start astronaut load.
Fantastic. And you see there in the foreground in the black suit, that is Kevin Sprague, our crew member 7, as well as Wally Funk seated on the left, soon to become the oldest person to have ever flown in space. Then, going clockwise here, Oliver Damon, soon to be the youngest person to have ever flown in space at the age of 18. He comes to us from the Netherlands. A special shout out to our international viewers, especially those in the Netherlands. Hello, everybody. You should be very proud of your countrymen there. Then we have, of course, Mark Bezos, brother to Jeff Bezos, our founder, in the cowboy hat. He is a true Texan at heart. We call it the ranch down here. We like to incorporate that into a lot of what we do in the spirit that we have down here at our launch site 1. All right, they are leaving the astronaut safety shelter here. Let's watch as they prepare.
All right, here we
to
go.
Cross the bridge.
That's really pretty cheap, London. Be sure to ring that bell, like and subscribe to... Wait.
What a moment. Jeff Bezos.
Well, I ring the bell.
Mark Bezos.
Well, yeah, I don't need to do this.
Wally Funk. and Oliver Damon. Ring the ceremonial bell, making some noise on their way to get into the crew capsule. Kevin, the crew member 7 that you see there in the black suit, he is now going to help them ingress, get into the capsule, get situated in their seats, and of course help them get buckled into their harnesses and go through any final safety checks.
Did you see that? Just
closing the hatch.
I
mean, we should note though, Gary and I have both been through the astronaut training experience. It's a 5-point harness. By the time you're done with training, you can do that upside down, backwards with your eyes closed, inside and out. I mean, you definitely understand how that works, and you're going to need to, because when we come back, when you get back into your seat from 0G, that's very important. Let's watch
Blue Origin is, Adrian.
As they cross the gantry, taking some final photos.
Blue Origin's working on a big
there, Felix
rocket.
Coons, a brilliant photographer who's taken those beautiful shots of the crew that we saw earlier.
Oh man,
there
it's
they
getting
go
real.
into the crew capsule.
Hey,
Gary, do you want to talk about the hosing and the piping that you see going into the hatch?
I mean, we're going up.
So that is just a cabin environmental control system. While it's on the pad, before we seal the hatch, we want to make sure the air is fresh and air conditioned in there. That hose will be removed, obviously, during hatch closure.
Jay,
so
probably up there for about 15, 20 minutes from launch to landing, something like that. About 5 minutes of weightlessness. It's going to take a second, dude. They're going up high.
Fantastic.
380,000 feet,
Wally
man.
Funk in seat number
Going
3
way
there.
up there.
Oliver getting situated
about 100,000
in seat
meters.
number 1. I'm starting to shake a little bit. I mean, not only, again, have we practiced this, and not only on the last flight did we have a full astronaut rehearsal like this, but it's different. We've done, again, 15 consecutive missions to get to this point.
It's
but
GSE Supercraft.
It's so much different
There's
when you
climate
put
control in the
people on
capsule.
board.
It goes to space, remember?
But again, so much testing, so much design, so much thought, and incredibly well-trained Blue Origin team that's supporting these astronauts, our first crew on New Shepard. Just wonderful.
Yeah, by about 16 kilometers, K5. Yeah, this thing will go up above 100 kilometers.
We are standing by here for Capcom to welcome
62
our
miles,
crew
guys.
into the capsule. Let's stand by for some audio there. There's our mission control. And Sarah Knights.
Sarah, you're on. You're live, Sarah. Nope, I guess not. First time we're seeing New Shepard mission control here.
Sarah Knights again, she has this incredible.
I have you loud and clear, 7. How me?
There we go. I think so, floating. Yep. I don't care, Apple. It doesn't matter. The 80 or 100 kilometer team. 100 if I had to say. If I had to say anything, it's a nice round number.
I can see it's jammed in there. Don't keep pulling on it. Don't get it.
Jeff, you cut the wrong audio in, sound engineer.
So again, we've got Capcom's Sarah Knight. She's one of our
It'd be
crew
fine,
member
Albert.
7
They wouldn't
on
be
the
putting
left.
people on it if it wasn't.
Our 4 astronauts are loaded into the capsule.
I don't know, Jeff, has it? I must have missed that.
There's Wally Funk in her seat.
No, I saw him getting off the field, and I thought he was putting
as well as
on.
mission control. Talk about
Could you
talk
link
about
the
locked and
original
loaded.
stream? Sure,
this
man.
team is really. I mean, you've been in mission control during these launches. What is that like?
So at this point in the
Oh,
procedure,
Benny, that would be
everybody
nice,
is
dude.
incredibly focused. They're true professionals.
This is great.
They are
enjoying
looking
this.
at the data, following procedures. There's really no distraction. You can hear a pin drop in that room unless they're working an issue. And as you saw in that picture, we run a very, very tight ship here at Blue Origin and on the New Shepard program. That picture of the front room of mission control, that is all the people that are operating the rocket at this point.
Yeah, the window's pretty large,
pushing
Vice.
the buttons to
They're
make
big.
things happen, in addition to the pad crews.
Biggest.
There you see. We've
Biggest
got
window
crew
to fly
number
into
7 that
space,
is,
pretty much.
Making sure Wally's harnesses are all tight and snug there. No, to your point about crew, Gary, I mean, we talk about designing an autonomous vehicle that launches and lands and reuse, but we've built also the operations to also complement that, to lower the cost of accessing to space, because
going up into space, man.
That's
Those
at the
windows
heart
better be thick.
of building this road to space. So we've built it so that it's an efficient vehicle, efficient operations.
Absolutely. So in addition to that front room, which is really just a half a dozen people and some backups to relieve them in case they need a break, there is an engineering back room right behind that room. It's the size of a small conference room, really.
That's right,
and
next.
It consists of engineers that are there just in case there's an anomaly that needs investigation. But you can actually see it through those back windows. That's it. That is all that is needed to launch New Shepard. We have some support staff on call in Washington State in case of an anomaly, but for the most part,
Six
that's it.
seats.
And we architected it that way. So.
Look, we got catch. Did you say catch Wally? She was waving at you, Gary. Oh, and is that? I think that's the postcard that she promised everybody she was going to be bringing up to space with her. So not only is the crew ready, but we got the props ready. We've got the photo shoot all set up. But getting back to the crew and crew operations that we've set up, as you said, lean and mean. But
that's
also,
super. I love how gung ho she is
about
it. That's freaking sweet, dude.
Critical to safety.
Yeah, I'm going to space.
Backup systems, backup systems.
I like that.
And we were talking about the team that we have.
We need more gung ho people like that, dude.
That is part of it. It's not just in, let's say the mechanical systems, the engineering that goes into the capsule, but from an operational standpoint.
Yes, London, they will.
From the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Some beautiful shots there of the capsule. So the
it's
window
all natural,
with the white square there, that is
nature's the best design,
Wally
bro.
Funk. To the left.
They're not going into orbit, guys.
Is,
this one's going suborbital, but
Bezos,
it will cross 100 kilometers
Jeff
into
Bezos'
space.
His brother.
It's going up there, way up there.
And in fact, to the left of him, a little harder to see off of that other window. That will be Jeff Bezos.
Oliver Damon is
and
the
Oliver
guy's
Damon
name.
On the other side of the hatch.
He's an 18-year-old from the Netherlands.
Harnessed in, ready to go to space, ready to become the youngest person to have ever flown in space. Again, he comes from the Netherlands. So beautiful. Again, we talked about it, Blue Origin. We really want to open up this experience to the world, and it's so wonderful
the Dutch people
that he is not just representing the next generation.
You think Oliver's
going to
go get some Stroop after this?
As we fly to space.
He's going to get Stroop.
Standing by here from
Stroop
Capcom.
waffles everywhere.
New Shepard, this is Blue Origin Mission Control. Good morning, astronauts, and welcome aboard the RSS First Step. Let's get things started with a comm check. Astronaut Oliver, how do you read?
62 miles.
Blue Control, astronaut Oliver, loud and clear.
Copy. Astronaut Wally, how do you read me?
Wally, push
no, Fib, not enough power.
Push the button until you can hit your good.
Copy, Astronaut Wally.
You gotta hit
astronaut
the button.
Demo.
Blue Control, this is Astronaut Demo. I have you loud and clear.
Copy. Astronaut Bezos.
Blue Control Bezos, I read you loud and clear. Thanks for everything, Sarah. We appreciate it.
It's my honor and my pleasure. All right, astronauts, we are at T-minus 21 minutes and counting. As we proceed, I'll keep you updated. For now, just sit back and relax.
Bezos is Jeff. Demo is his brother.
Fantastic, and there you heard it. All 4 astronauts are ready to go to space. They just had a quick comms check with Sarah Knight.
She
on
is.
Capcom,
Did you hear that too?
She's
like, I want to do this. Let's go.
You heard all 4 astronauts are
not sure it's
jazzed. Wally there was, I'm sure she's a bit distracted again. We've said this before. She has waited over 60 years from the days that she was part of the Mercury 13 program to go to space. That program to get women into space was canceled. But you know what? She is canceled no more, everybody. She is going to space. Such an honor to be able to help her realize this dream of going to space after so long. What a moment, what a woman that that really personifies perseverance
Closing the hatch.
And pushing through it.
Here we go.
All right, and here we go. We are closing the hatch. Gary, do you want to talk a little about what happens when you close the hatch? Obviously, it's a pressurized vehicle. What does that mean with regards to closing the hatch there?
So the
All right,
hatch
seal it
has
off.
a double seal on it. There are 2 sets of seals.
It's an
So what they're
inflatable.
going to do when they close the hatch to make sure it is properly sealed is they're actually going to pull a vacuum in between both of those seals and make sure that vacuum doesn't decay. And that checks the integrity of both seals.
Fantastic. Now, I understand that we've got Caitlin Dietrich again on the ground. We've got an update from her. Caitlin, what's going on?
Branson went 52 miles. ATOG, this one's going 62 miles. So
She is
85 kilometers.
She's
100
almost ready.
kilometers
So
for this
let's hold off on just a moment for our update from
This thing
Caitlin
goes higher
Dietrich.
than Virgin Galactic.
In the meantime, let's
By a
watch here
good-
as the
good distance.
tower crew continues
Van Horn,
to
Texas.
close the hatch, make sure that the pressure seals are all ready to go. There we see Mark Bezos giving the thumbs up.
Mark.
There's Jeff in the background
Mark.
waving. What an experience to do with your siblings, your best friend. What a day for this full crew. Gary, you we mentioned again that you have gone through the
There
Avalon
should be,
experience.
Jim. They
You
showed
went
an
through
internal
it.
view before.
Actually, here we go. I think we've got Caitlin. Just a moment, Gary. Hold that thought. Caitlin,
Shut up,
what's
Gary.
going on out there at Mission Control?
Gary's just like, all right.
Hey everyone, so basically we've actually left Mission Control, the porch, and now we're at what we call Fallback 3. It's on basically the entrance to the road to space. And right here is where the astronauts drove by. They went all the way to the tower.
Gary
You
don't
probably
care.
see it there in the very
Gary's
distance.
caring about one thing.
Here we just closed the
rocket
hatch
working.
and everything's looking nominal. And basically what's going to happen is once the capsule is under parachutes, we have a convoy here right behind us that's going to be racing out to get that hatch open and celebrate after their victorious flight to space. So that's what we're all preparing for here after their 11-minute flight.
He's an
So we're pretty
engineer,
excited.
Sneaky. Of course he's chill.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for that update.
Just like
Gary,
what?
so you, as we were just closing out that question, so on the last one, you actually were in the capsule, right? You and Audrey Powers, who we talked to a little bit earlier in the show, were in the capsule.
That's right, Jim.
When they closed the hatch. What does it feel like at this moment?
It's actually quite tranquil. After the excitement and all the helicopters and ingress.
He's more interested to make sure that his rocket
you
works
have a
to boost,
moment
but
in the
also
capsule
that.
now to reflect when the hatch is closed. It's actually pretty quiet. You've got hearing protection in just in case. You can still hear Capcom, but you have a moment to reflect. The fact that you're seated, reclined in a seat next to a window, directly next to a window that is so big, you can just turn your head and feel like you're floating right on the edge of the rocket. And then we've designed it that way so
Jimmy, I
that
don't
when you
want
are
that
actually in
dude.
space,
What are you, nuts?
you don't have to turn your head.
I don't need the
You
liquor
look
cart in
right out
space,
and
bro.
have the
That would
sensation
suck.
of actually being out.
Oh god.
And it also kind of adds to the voluminous feel of the capsule. We said earlier it's 10 times the volume that...
So this is the lead engineer on New Shepard. That's why I'm saying all he cares about is the rocket. Gary's the lead engineer for New Shepard. Ariane is the business development lead for Blue Origin, and Caitlin, the one that's at the road to space, she is the director of communications for Blue Origin.
We're able to do it, we would have made the entire capsule transparent.
That is kind of a cool idea. Is that for the next iteration? You working on that? Is that in secret? All right, we're not going to release those information on our webcast, but stay tuned, everybody.
All right.
All right, we're going to toss it back to
Sneaky, you gonna
Capcom.
miss
I
it?
understand that we've got a special message from Christina Bezos, sister to Jeff and Mark Bezos.
How many siblings does Jeff have? Jeff? Didn't even know he had a brother until like a week ago. Christina?
First up, Blue Control. On that note, Jeff and Mark, I have a special message from your sister Christina. Steve and I are so excited for this monumental launch. Jeff, this is something you've dreamed of your whole life, and your passion for space is infectious. Mark, you're the best champion when it comes to encouraging us in our adventures. As you buckle in, I'm reminded of when Jeff was Captain Kirk Mark, you were Sulu, and I took the role of Lieutenant Uhura. We would battle Klingons while firing torpedoes, all the while dodging in and out of traffic and praying that we make it to our destination safely.
Use the Force, Harry.
Mark, be prepared to fire those torpedoes if ordered to do so. Now hurry up and get your asses back down here so I can give you a huge hug. We love you, and Godspeed, New Shepard.
Family.
And there it is. Beautiful message from Christina. There is our Kent headquarters going nuts as they should. A big day for our whole Blue Origin team. It's early out there on the West Coast, but they wouldn't miss it for the world. Look at them. So amazing. Again, what a day for the entire Blue.
All right, I'm just going to do a little bit of a live check here. Family. Those are his employees, Bill. Alright, I'm just gonna do a little bit of fast forward. The ship looks like a torpedo. Yeah, that's what she meant, obviously. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna repeat this here.
First look at the vehicle.
Yeah. It's so cool to go with this crew because Wally is like one of the best pilots ever and has such an amazing life story. Of course, Jeff is one of the best businessmen ever and a great visionary. And Mark is a firefighter and has such an amazing track record over his life. I feel responsibility because I'm the youngest in space, and to get more people interested in space, and not even just space, but science, would be such an opportunity for me to do. When I touch down and I get out of the vehicle, I think I'll be just speechless.
Now, Oliver also has his pilot's license and will be studying physics in college.
We're in a 15-minute hold
and
here.
in just a bit, he'll officially be an astronaut. But Gary, did you talk to Oliver?
I did. I had an opportunity to meet him.
Did you start recruiting? Did you get on that? What are you doing sitting here? Come on, man. We were like that guy. Not only is he going to study physics, but also innovation. So we can only imagine what is in store for Oliver in the years to come. But I can tell you what is in store for him in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah,
He's going to go to space over the Kármán line.
Could be worse,
100
man.
kilometers
Could be way
up,
worse.
the internationally recognized line of space, and he is going to come back a freshly minted astronaut. Cannot wait for that. Now, we are at T-minus 15 minutes to go until launch. We are in a brief hold here. And while we're in a hold, why don't we turn it over to New Shepard and watch the rocket as she gets ready to take these 4 astronauts to space and back.
Jacob, I'd do it if they asked me. All right, I'm gonna give it. Hey, what's up, Oliver? Just chilling over there. Let's see. I'm gonna give us a little bit of a fast forward here to make sure we're caught up live, and we'll do a little bit of a refresher there. There we go. Give me a moment here.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Zero, what's up, dude? The shot kind of looked like you were standing beside the rocket. Nice. Prepare to fast forward. Prepare to fast forward. Fast forwarding, sir. Fast forward. Man, how far were we behind? There we go. We're caught up. Okay, so it looks like they did the hatch checks. Ground closeout crews should be leaving here. And then we should see a retraction on the crew access arm here in a moment. But they are in a hold. They haven't said whether this is a planned hold or not. I'm not sure. Planned holds do happen. Sometimes closing out stuff like making sure the hatch seal is good, it takes a nominal amount of time. It might take longer, it might be shorter. Sometimes it'll seal on the first time, sometimes you have to do it 2 or 3 times. So they have kind of open loops on some steps. Most rockets have this, just to be sure. So the hold could be planned into the count. It's very possible. But they haven't said why they're holding. It's the hold counter.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas. We are here at T-minus 15 minutes to go until launch. We are in a brief hold. We've got our astronauts that are loaded into the capsule.
Yeah,
you saw there just a moment ago, we had Oliver Damon on the left, in the left window. To the right of the hatch is our founder, Jeff Bezos. Coming around him is Mark Bezos, and on the opposite side of the capsule is Wally Funk. And again, we're just here in a brief hold, but while we have a moment, let's throw it back to the pad and catch out some of those shots of our astronauts as they get ready for their flight to space and back this morning.
Forgot the keys. You think Oliver at this point is like, what am I doing? what am I doing? How did I get here? Yeah, no step on rocket. No step. You see, he's looking out the window. He's like, why am I? I'm only 18. What's going on here? Jeff is in there, TRP. Yep. Would you be scared? No. You don't fear what you understand. I know how this thing works. I know the risks involved. I wouldn't. No, I'd be fine. Sure, no problem. What would kill me with something like this is, this is what always gets me. I always get nervous when I'm about to do something. So, like, I would be nervous walking up the stairs, but once I got into the rocket and kind of settled in, I'd be fine. No problem. I would just enjoy the ride. You're behind a little. Yeah, no, we're not, because, yeah, I just fast forward. But if you want to fast forward a little more, we can do that. Yeah, I can't fast forward anymore, man. It's all good. In-flight abort is pretty rough.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas for New Shepard's first human flight. We are at T-minus 15 minutes. We are in a brief hold
I'd be having some fun on the way up.
This is okay. I mean, to say, Gary, you can appreciate this. We spent years designing this rocket, months and months designing the mission. And if we need to take a couple of minutes more to make sure that the team is aligned, that we're all set and sorted, that our astronauts are happy, that the weather both on the ground and up aloft is within green zones, then we're going to do that. How do you guys think about holds when you're in mission control? What is happening right now?
Didn't.
There's really two kinds of holds. There might be a hold while they investigate an anomaly, and
Easily
very often
5+.
That is not the case, though. There are sometimes holds just to catch up in the timeline. The thing about New Shepard that's distinct from several older vehicles that you might have seen is that we don't need to launch at a precise time to meet some launch window because we're trying to intercept something in space. We have a lot of time. We can take our time. It's better to pause and hold if there's any reason to, if there's a sensor reading that you want to investigate or you just want to catch up in time. So that's why we tend to take these holds. Otherwise, we bias to launching as soon as possible so we don't otherwise have a lot of buffer in the normal count.
Absolutely. So again, well, actually, now I understand the hold is lifted.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that.
Okay, we're out of the hold here, guys. Does this trajectory put it over any civilization? No, they're out in Van Horn, Texas. That's West Texas, so there is literally nothing for hundreds of miles. Yeah, closest city is El Paso. Yeah, there's nothing out there, dudes. What's the mission profile? Up and then down. Go 100 kilometers that way, get into space for a second, come right back down. First stage will land, and they'll come down in the capsule with parachutes. All right, we're out of the hold here, guys, so that 15-minute was a planned hold, I'm pretty sure.
All right, everybody, we are at T-minus 14 minutes and 5 seconds to go until launch here.
About 4 minutes of
got
weightlessness
goosebumps
next.
going already. Again, the adrenaline is building and the energy is building up here as the clock ticks down. And while our astronauts and our teams are going through the final checks with our crew member 7 and the launch team, let's talk about seeing Earth from space and how it changes you. And we're very fortunate here at Blue Origin to have several NASA astronauts that are working with us. And they've logged hundreds of hours in space, and they offer a keen perspective on what our first human flight astronauts are just minutes away from experiencing.
I find it's very interesting that people can look at a picture of Earth taken by an astronaut, but they don't get that change inside that actually being there in space gives you. It is one of those things that you kind of have to do.
The perspective from space is a really fantastic one. You can see things that you never thought you'd see from Earth.
It really can't help but change your life. It changes your perspective. Having that kind of an experience makes you feel smaller.
You really do come back with a sense that the Earth is a closed environment. Everything we have here to eat, breathe, drink, it's all traveling together.
And looking at the blackness of space and looking at the surface of the Earth and seeing that almost nothing separates us two. All of humankind is on this one small rock, protected by this thin, fragile little layer of air.
Nice, Shinar. Congratulations. That's cool.
It makes you realize that the planet is, in fact, a giant spaceship traveling through space that's home to 7 billion of us. And I think every astronaut who goes to space is changed by it in some way.
They've actually documented a change in core values in almost all astronauts from before the flight to after the flight. And as millions and millions of people begin to get this experience, I think the knowledge on Earth and a different understanding about our planet will gradually occur.
That drone shot, though, from the last flight is so...
The experience of something that changes who you are on the inside. It's very powerful. It is so memorable and so unique that people walk away speechless.
Incredible stuff. I hope one day I get to experience that, and I know obviously the 4 people that are on top of that rocket are about to do that. Gary, do you want to talk to us a little bit about today's flight profile, how they're getting up to space over the Kármán line and back home down here to West Texas?
Absolutely. So T-0 is the time that we...
Actually, Gary, if you don't mind standing by, I understand that we are ready for our go, no-go poll.
This is the flight director.
No,
Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence similar count.
Wilco flight.
Controller, strap UHF voice.
No, Gary. Gary's just like, all right. Gary, we need you to relax, all right? I'm fine.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Enabling onboard power.
Gary, he's the engineer. Of course he's the punching bag, KJ. I think in terms of time and space, Jacob, this will be more.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us again. Sorry about that. So we got so caught up in the flight profile and the perspectives from our NASA astronauts. We just caught the tail end there of the go no go poll. But I'm hearing that we're looking good for flight today. So let's get back into that flight profile, Gary, that you were telling us about here. Again, how are they getting up to space, over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space, and then back down here to Earth in West Texas?
Okay, so T-0 is actually not the point of liftoff. It's when we send the command to start the engine. It lifts off about 7 seconds later. It will ascend for about 2.5 minutes and then shut off. It goes through what we call MECO, main engine cutoff. About 20 seconds after that, the capsule will separate, and that's when the fasten seatbelt light on their panels will turn off, and they'll be able to float around the capsule for 3 to 4 minutes. During that time, both vehicles are still ascending, and they will ascend above 100 kilometers. The Kármán line today, we're headed for about 105, 106 kilometers, and then start their descent. The capsule, the booster will actually re-enter first. It's more aerodynamic. Before it hits the atmosphere, it deploys wedge fins on top to stabilize it, and then uses those aft fins to steer back over the pad. Just over the pad, about 20,000 feet above, it deploys drag brakes to slow itself down, and then restarts its engines just seconds before hitting the ground to slow itself down to a soft landing. The landing legs will come out just seconds before landing. It might do 1 or 2 maneuvers to make sure that it's over that pad, and then it will touch down softly. Meanwhile, the capsule will continue its flight. The astronauts will strap back in before hitting the atmosphere, get back in their seats. There'll be thrusters that will stabilize the capsule just to prevent it from rocking too much, and then parachutes will deploy about 10,000 feet above the ground. First drogues will fire, and those will extract the mains. And then finally, a landing will occur on a cushion of air, which will fire just about 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah, that was on. There he is.
Fantastic, and you know, we've mentioned this before on previous webcasts that the dirt down here, it's like talcum powder. It goes everywhere, and so when we have that air cushion that fires, it really kicks up the dust. But again, they're coming in at just about 1 or 2 miles an hour. It's a really nice, soft landing. And again, Gary, we confirmed we are go for launch for first human flight on New Shepard. My goodness, I mean, you've been waiting for this day for 17 years since you joined Blue Origin. What are you feeling right now, Gary?
It's still hard to believe that it's actually here. I don't know if it's set in yet, but the main thing I'm feeling is I'm thinking about the entire team, past and present, the hundreds and hundreds of people that have worked on the New Shepard program. And
Gary is very excited. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Look at him. He's just he's over the moon. Calm down, Gary. Relax.
Obviously, but each one of those people has contributed so much to this program. It's, again, a special shout out to all of our Blue Origin team members watching around the world. Now, for the others that are watching around the world,
chill,
if you want to experience space flight for yourself, if you want to do what Jeff and Mark and Wally and Oliver are doing today, and you're serious about it, send us an email at astronauts@blueorigin.com. We are open. Open for ticket sales to send you all to space. What just an incredible day.
Thanks, man.
And you know, we're so lucky to have this particular crew on board today.
Gary, calm down, man.
And I feel like,
calm down, man.
You know, not only do we have this beautiful story about the Bezos brothers that are going up, and Wally and Oliver, soon to be the oldest and the youngest astronauts who have ever flown into space. Oliver, that's representing our international friends out there, taking the Dutch flag to space. You know, and then again, Wally, who has been thinking about going to space, well, her entire life, but certainly since the 1960s, and she was part of that program that got canceled, and she just kept fighting until recently we said, hey, Wally, why don't you join us for this first crew? And I can only imagine our future customers that are going to go on board. They're going to represent the world. They're going to represent many different backgrounds, and we certainly look forward to that. As we mentioned, we're going to have 2 more flights in 2021 for a total of 3, and again, many more to come in the future. And that is just fantastic. And I can imagine, again, as you were building the system, Gary, as you were thinking about, okay, this is not just a 1 or 2 flight, operation with New Shepard. You've built it for a long-term program.
We've built it to continue indefinitely and to take hundreds and hundreds of astronauts in the future. We hope to be into the thousands soon.
And just think about that, right? There have only been about 560, 570 people that have ever been over the Kármán line, up 100 kilometers up over the internationally recognized line of space.
He will not be contained.
And today we're going to add 4 more to that list, which is so
about 20 minutes total.
Yes, and someday in the near future we will be over 570 just on the New Shepard program.
Can you imagine? You're going to go up?
Nice.
Absolutely.
You're going to go up with me?
Sure.
You in, man? Awesome. Okay, we are T-minus 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go until launch. What an incredible moment. Let's check out New Shepard on the pad here. We are awaiting
awesome.
the vehicle is going to go into some last-minute checks on the vehicle. At T-minus 2 minutes is when the vehicle, we throw the show over to her. It's all on her. It's an autonomous vehicle. But Gary, do you want to talk to us about what are some of those last-minute checks that the vehicle is going through,
3:50, guys,
and that we're going to see especially on our screen?
Right, so as you mentioned, the last 2
That's
minutes
right, Alex.
are auto sequence, and that is executed entirely by the vehicle itself through an automated checklist.
I don't know, Fragment,
You'll
but
see
I should
a
see
couple
if I
of
get
things.
that.
There will be things that you don't see,
Real.
such as sensor checks, pressure checks on the tanks, radio checks, all hundreds and hundreds of different checks will be stepped through in this checklist. But what you will see is the hydraulic system
Thanks for the
spooling up,
bits, guys.
which will wiggle
And subs,
the engine
appreciate it.
gimbal as well as the aft fins. They're not only wiggling those surfaces, but they're making sure that there's no stiction and they travel smoothly.
Fantastic, and again, we are waiting to see that. You'll be able to see,
Mods,
as Gary said,
caps
you don't get
is
to see
allowed
all
from
of
T-minus
those
3 minutes
last-minute
out.
checks, but we
Okie dokie.
certainly get to see the aft fins. As Gary mentioned, those are the fins at the
It's
base
cool
of the
during the
vehicle.
launch.
There are
We're good.
4 of those. Obviously, they help direct
would suck.
the rocket both up and down, and then the engine will gimbal.
Yep, I'm gonna do a delay check here just to be sure. And yeah, we'll go. Let's go. Okay, we're caught up.
A powerful
Drone
and
cam,
also
though.
throttleable engine. The throttle. I'll talk about the throttleability just here for a second. We throttle the engine back as it comes back to land, and that's what creates a nice soft
Thanks,
landing.
man.
Because as it comes in, of course, it's
20
not
minutes,
filled with
Ron.
all the propellant that it had on the way back up. So if we throttle it back, kind of like an airplane, it comes in for a nice, soft landing.
Check.
And
What's happening?
you know what a trip to space
Cannot
and back. Again,
contain
this
my
vehicle,
excitement.
we've had 15 successful flights on. Again, we're
Clear the
looking
prop.
forward to this 16th one. Of course, a very special one.
Let's fly
with
today.
people on board today. I just T-minus 2 minutes. There we go.
Bridge is retracting.
The bridge is retracting. There's
noise,
Oliver
though.
on the left, Jeff Bezos on the right. We are about to go to space, everybody.
Yo.
We are in auto sequence.
Oh man, yo. I got chills there for a second when the thing retracted. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's pretty dope. The sounds, man, that's cool. It's happening, Matt. Here we go. 80 seconds.
Ariane, when that engine gimbal check
I know.
occurs and the
I know,
engine
Jack, that was
swings, they
pretty-
should
pretty
actually be
cool.
able to feel it in the cabin because it'll sway the
guys.
stack back and forth.
Here we go. Fin
There
check
go
out
the
there.
aft fin checks.
Watch the fin that has 4 on it. It should move. Thanks for the bits. Gameplay.
There you see the engine gimbal check just peeking out at the base of the rocket.
TVC checkout right there. There it is. That's the engine wiggling. I like that they have
All right,
the sound
here
for
we
that
go,
type thing.
everybody. Thousands of people
Here we go.
contributed years to this historic moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Origin's first human flight.
All right,
Godspeed, first crew of New Shepard. Let's light this candle.
25 seconds. I love the pad sounds. The GSE sounds are so cool.
T-minus 16, guidance internal.
15. Okay, rockets powered up, ready to go. 10.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Go
Command
for main
engine
engine start.
2, 1. Ignition. We have liftoff.
All right, there it goes.
Shepard cleared the tower.
And New Shepard has cleared the tower on her way to space with our first human crew.
Holy shnikes.
Go, Jeff. Go, Mark. Go, Wally. Go, Oliver. You are going to space.
That's so cool. They piped in the sound pretty good, huh?
Oh my goodness, listen to the roar of the BE-3 engine. We are just about to pass
Plus
through
50.
max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. That is when the stresses on the vehicle are at their maximum.
Right, AC. There's people in there.
Max Q.
Pretty cool.
Max Q is
1 minute.
confirmed.
Vehicle's 580 miles
Beautiful
an hour.
burn on that BE-3
Crossing
engine.
30,000 feet here. This is
liquid
about where
hydrogen,
passenger planes operate, right here.
and liquid oxygen as the propellant. It's a nice, not just clean in terms of beautifully
40,000
performing,
feet.
but what comes out of it, it's steam, right? Whew! To see the glow of the engine underneath the rocket, just under our shoulders, and to know that we've got a crew that is going to space. It just feels different, doesn't it, Gary?
It is totally different.
Guys, we're getting up to about 2,000 kph.
All right, you can follow along, of course, the speedometer in the bottom left, the altimeter in the middle of the screen there. So far, appears to be a nominal flight.
So we... 2,000 miles. That's 3,200 kph, guys.
All right, coming up here on Miko,
about 40, 50
main
kilometers
engine
right
cutoff. That will be followed shortly by separation. And at that point, after separation, we're going to let the astronauts unbuckle and take in the freedoms of zero-G. There is Miko, main engine cutoff. A beautiful shot
we
down
have
the
engine
New
cutoff.
Shepard rocket.
The BE-3 is off, is shut off. That's normal. Should have capsule separation here in a moment.
Unreal. Awaiting separation here.
Zero-G. Gary, relax. Let her speak. Okay, so 270 is right here is about where Virgin Galactic.
And here we are. You can start.
We still got a little ways to go with this thing. This thing's going way higher than that.
You're going to see the separation of the capsule from the booster itself.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Yeah, seems okay. In a second, Bello. Gary, be quiet.
Woo! Oh, wow. We just thank you. We also get to look out the window. Holy kid God. Oh, wow. Get upside down.
Okay.
And there we go. Our astronauts have passed the Kármán line at about 328,000 feet, continuing their ascent. You see the two vehicles there. When the speed hits zero, you know that they've hit apogee, their maximum altitude, and you hear they're having quite an experience.
Oh, my instincts are fucked.
Okay, I'm gonna start back.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
The capsule did separate.
Yeah, you just have to wait for it. You want the Skittle. Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're past apogee. Now we're coming back down. Yeah, oh my god, I did. 106 kilometers up, guys. That's about...
Yeah! Well done!
1 minute warning. 1 minute warning.
I don't know, Solo. I wish they did.
So good.
Get that one?
Got it.
Got it?
Let's see if I can see the boost.
Yeah,
Little bit. I cannot. Oh, wow. You got to take the moment to do that. Okay, get in. We got to get in.
Okay, we have first stage camera there.
Look at the roll.
Oh, fantastic. Look at this. It's dark up here.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah. Yeah, they're out of their seats right now, Vice. They should be getting back into the seats very soon.
Everybody in?
First step, status check. Astronaut Oliver.
Oh, wow.
Let's go more.
Oliver, status check. Oh, sorry.
Blue Control, Oliver, status perfect. In seat.
Copy, Astronaut Wally.
Wally.
Blue Control, Wally is in speed.
Copy, astronaut demo.
She's too busy having fun, man.
Copy, astronaut Bezos.
Jeff? First stage coming back down here. The B3 should relight here in a moment.
Copy.
Okay, Jeff's good. Alright, boosters transonic. Air brakes deployed. G plus 650, we should get an engine relight here momentarily.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for our first human flight on New Shepard. So far, a phenomenal flight. Our booster is about to return to its landing pad. There we see engine relight.
Got a good relight.
And booster touchdown, welcome back, New Shepard.
I didn't hate that. Oh, we got a little bit of residual flames there.
A beautiful rocket that provided a beautiful flight to space.
Oh!
First step, your booster has landed.
Booster landed.
Oh!
Blue Control Bezos.
Oh, that was nice.
About the booster.
And there it is, our crew capsule with our 4 crew members on board.
You have a very happy crew up here, I want you to know.
The boss is happy. The boss is happy. Gary is ecstatic.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Shit, us mine are a little too, huh?
I see the big barn.
Stand by drogues.
Okay.
Stand by drogues.
Drogues in the initial shoots to slow the capsule down to a safe enough speed to deploy the main chutes.
Stand by main.
Okay, we should get a main deploy here. There should be 3 chutes, guys. We're looking for 3. Gary, you need to relax.
Oh, so far, a nominal flight. Here comes the crew capsule back from
3
space.
chutes.
The drogues deployed. Here are the mains out.
Perfect.
Reefing and coming to full inflation.
3 chutes inflated. We're good.
Our rocket went over Mach 3, and now they're coming floating back down at just about 15 or 16 miles an hour, about to join us home. Back here in West Texas, after having gone over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space, the world's newest astronauts.
All they need is
Gary,
3
how you holding up, friend?
I am speechless.
Gary, relax.
Wow.
You
And those
certainly had a
big,
lot to
beautiful
say, huh?
windows.
I've just got about a minute and a half of floating before the activation of the skirt jet for a soft touchdown.
I did, King. I saw it, man.
At this point,
sweet.
there are sensors on
What was the
board
point
that
of
are
this?
detecting how high they are
Go to
above the
space?
ground.
Go back?
Multiple sensors. And just 6 feet above the ground, that cushion of air will puff, and they will
Didn't
have
ask
a
for a
soft
novel,
touchdown,
Gary.
almost like just sitting in a chair.
We like
But
Gary.
I'm sure their
Gary's cool.
adrenaline is pumping now.
That was awesome. So the thing can land on 1, guys. The 3 chutes are there for redundant purposes. So if 1 goes, they can land on 2. If 2 go, they can land on 1. It's no problem, drone. I know, floating. I do like that. All right. And
touchdown.
Perfect.
Welcome back, New Shepard's
crap.
first human crew. What?
That's amazing.
What a
Welcome
flight.
back to Earth, first step. Congratulations to all of you.
Wow. That's damn impressive, dudes.
What a day, what
That's
a day.
damn impressive.
People on this capsule. We're so grateful to everybody who made this possible. Thank you. Blue Control, Oliver, thank you so much for everyone there. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yes, Pasatka.
Copy, first step. You have a very happy Capcom here as well. Let's do a status check. Astronaut Oliver.
Blue Control, astronaut Oliver, status correct.
Copy.
At least.
Astronaut. Copy. Astronaut demo.
Yeah, pretty soft.
Astronaut demo. I am unbelievably good.
Copy.
Blue Control Bezos, best day ever.
Not a bad day at work.
Copy, everyone. Go ahead and remain in your seats. Crew member 7 is on their way. Shortly, you will hear the capsule off-gassing.
I know, Sobs. It's awesome.
Did anybody have to spare altitude or altitude? I didn't. Yeah. No, they thought they had. We'll find out. It's okay. I had, my main mission was accomplished. I didn't kick anyone.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
You did it! You what about the Carmen line, Phil?
Your apogee was 351,210 feet.
I don't know about the guy.
State of the meter?
105 kilometers for sure. And crowd goes wild because of the delay. Say it in meters? 105,000 meters?
Alright, that was incredible! That was unbelievable. Wally, that was incredible! It was! I was thinking we were jerking and it wasn't. No, I was the helicopters. I was surprised at how easy 0G was. Yeah, it felt very, like, remarkably natural. It did. It's like swimming. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It actually feels good. It felt...
No, don't cut the comms.
Well, what a day. You can see our the world's newest minted astronauts there on board discussing their incredible flight of a lifetime up to space and back. Wow. Our team is now preparing landing safety operations. The recovery crew has already, minutes ago, has left the barn there to go open the hatch. You can see them there. They are arriving at the capsule in the Rivians. You can actually also see that the parachutes fell very close to the capsule. It means that there's not much wind out there. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Not too shabby, Gary. What do you think?
No, it was picture perfect. And it sounds like it landed pretty much exactly where we predicted. That's how they can get to it so quickly. They start moving even before it landed based on the prediction of landing. We used weather balloons that we launched throughout the morning, and that gives us a very good idea of where it will land, which is within 1,000 feet. What you're seeing that they're doing right now is Kevin Sprague, crew member 7, is just making sure everybody is okay and gives them a thumbs up. They're also grounding the vehicle. When you go into space, you could accumulate pretty significant electric charge. That's actually why we prefer that the astronauts not get out themselves so that we can ground the vehicle of static charge, which can be quite strong.
Excellent, and I think there that Kevin Sprague, our crew member 7, has given the given the thumbs up for all of our astronauts that are on board there. Again, Jeff Bezos, Mark Bezos, Wally Funk, and Oliver Damon.
What do you do?
What an incredible day! You heard them on the audio. Best day ever. I mean, this is. I feel like this is our best day ever, and we didn't even get to go up to space. I mean.
So the woman on the right is Ariane Cornell. She's director of sales for Blue Origin, and the guy on the left is I forget his last name. That's Gary. He's the chief engineer on New Shepard. Very talkative lad, right there. Very talkative. He has a lot to say.
Oh, there you are.
Felix is up here. All right, guys, we'll do later.
Very emotional. No, the guy's an engineer through and through. He stayed calm the entire time. He's like, yes, I am very happy about this. He's watching the telemetry. Look at those eagle eyes. Guy's watching the telemetry all day. He's like, this better go right.
Hey, the main parachute line in front of the hatch.
The boss is on board.
Left.
Gary's very happy. See, he's very excited. Look, you can tell. He's just over the moon right now. Yep, this guy, he's an engineer. This guy engineers.
They're just moving one of the main parachute lines to make sure it doesn't snag the hatch when it opens.
And there's Jeff. Thumbs up.
Did it!
CC safe, Jimmy.
Oh, that's
You heard there, the CC is safe.
No, I got it. No, it's not open for my slide.
I know, Laz, right?
Confirm. Okay, go, you can go live. Go to the camera.
Go to the camera.
Jimmy! Jimmy!
Gary, the architect of New Shepard, congratulations to you, man.
Congratulations.
Give me a
to
hug.
you,
This is just, oh, what a
Gary
day.
is elated.
Again, thank you everybody for joining us live for our first human flight of New Shepard. Our 4 astronauts went to space and back, topping over 350,000 feet, well over 100 kilometers. They've come back down safely. We're just waiting here for egress. Our crew is going to get out of the capsule and meet their families back here on the ground. Of course, their families that have provided so much support since they were little kids and dreamt of this to this day and this moment.
Hey, we didn't get internal views, but this almost makes up for it.
Get in here, Mar.
Yeah, Ben, but it's a pretty cool ride.
Caitlin, you ready? Family, are we ready?
Pretty cool. Wally! Mark! Pop the champagne, let's go.
Oliver! Congratulations!
You did it! Sorry. I think that's Mr. Damon over there.
You gotta get up there, sweetheart. Oh my God, it was so great.
What a day. Again, here a successful launch and landing of the New Shepard rocket and crew capsule with our first human flight crew there. Jeff Bezos, Mark Bezos, Oliver Damon, and Wally Funk.
Yeah, Chief.
And their families there giving big hugs all around. What a moment. So much emotion from all of them.
Gary is emotional.
The elation. Did you see Wally? Did you see Wally when she came out? You know, this I told you she was probably going to do a summer, cartwheel as she came out of that capsule. What an incredible day. Let's just capture a couple more moments of this. Again, space flight, so much engineering, so much objective, hard engineering, technical thought that goes into it. But when you put people on board, there's such an incredible emotional component to this. The time, the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears, you know this better than anybody else. Again, congratulations, Gary.
Thank you, Ariane. And congratulations to the entire Blue Origin team. This might have looked easy today. It was anything but easy. To design a vehicle like this that is so safe that anybody can get on board.
From Wally Funk, who today became the world's oldest astronaut at 82, to Oliver Damon, who became the world's youngest astronaut at 8.
And that's the only praise you'll ever get from Gary. You did a good job today.
Viewers in the Netherlands, congratulations. You should be very, very, very proud of your countrymen. I mean, again, and representing the next generation of people that are going to go into space.
Yes,
I mean, I
Ryder.
can't
Wally
wait to
Funk's
see
82.
what Oliver does
82.
with his future. I can only imagine.
Put
You
a good
heard him in the
capsule design,
video.
huh?
You know, he just wants to spread the love, spread the message. I can't wait to hear their impressions of the view from up there. And in fact, I hear in just a moment we hope to be getting a couple of impressions from our astronauts. We'll stand by for that there.
Somebody took a digger. Who was it?
The friends, the family. You see our CEO, Bob Smith, there. You
Woman in
see
blue took a
a
digger.
couple
You
of
see
our
that?
other executives, of course, this crew safety team.
Champagne.
And it's champagne time, everybody.
The champagne. Dun, 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 dun. It's not a Formula One race. Sorry. Okay.
It's the only proper way to end the space flight.
Exactly, only proper way to end a space flight with a champagne shower.
Bono, my first stage, mate. It's gone, mate. First stage, mate's really fallen off, mate. It's gone.
A lot more to come. We are, again, not just the crew and the families, but everybody at Blue Origin who has made the historic day possible.
Me too, Goose.
Well, there's a big hug from Jeff to Wally Funk.
Yeah, but you did it all. The oldest person in space. You. That's so rad.
A beautiful moment there.
So rad, man. All right.
For a woman who was denied her opportunity to go to space in the 60s. She had to wait to the 2020s, but man, it was worth the wait. There you see the Bezos brothers hugging it out. Oliver Damon, you saw him earlier giving his father a big hug. What a moment. You saw the first hug when Jeff came out of the capsule to his mother, Jackie, followed by his father, Mike. I mean, again, what a day. What a day. To the thousands and thousands of members of Team Blue, you contributed to today as well. I know you were all hugging it out back in Kent, Washington at our headquarters near Seattle, sending you guys a lot of love from down here in West Texas. What a moment.
I imagine.
Oh, look at this girl.
I mean, granted, you know, Gary, we weren't in the capsule, but my favorite part was hearing, you know, the hooting and hollering and the laughing. You know, Jeff is known for his big boisterous laugh. I mean, he's having the moment of a lifetime here. You can only imagine as they were floating around up there. You saw them say, "Gosh, look at the views."
Yeah, Tree, that's right. Ian, let me look around and see if TV's there.
Gary, is this as you had expected it? 17 years ago when you joined Blue Origin, you know, we like to at Blue, we like to, you know, start at the end goal, work backwards to make the design, and then build forwards. When you sat there 17 years ago with the very small team at the time,
certainly somebody that
at
looks
Blue,
like him, Ian.
Is this what you would imagine?
It's certainly what we hoped for, but with the size of the team, when I joined Blue Origin, there were only 20 of us in a warehouse, and it would have taken a huge leap of faith to think that we could have gotten to this point, but we have.
Just incredible. You know, I've been here 7 years. We were at 300, so man, you got me beat by a lot there. But you know, I can remember when I joined the team and we were talking about the moment, the day that we were gonna fly people. You know, you talk about it, but it's here and it's now. And I remember we were talking about, okay, well, what will this video look like, and what will that video look like? It doesn't compare. It doesn't matter. This is real. This is so much better than anything that we could have ever imagined. the emotional component to human space flight. We've had 15 consecutive test flights, which, as you said earlier, is why we knew that we were ready to put people on board this rocket. And that's what led us to today. To know that we could do this safely, and to give people the experience of a lifetime. And I think based on what we see there, I think job well done, sir. Job well done.
And not only did we do it today, we can do it again and again and again and again.
Precisely. Absolutely love it. That was amazing. Everybody, I want to thank you all for joining us from around the world for today's Blue Origin historic first human flight. It's been a moment for the ages, and guess what? We're just getting started. We've got 2 more flights this year and several more in the coming years. I want you to join us a little bit later today. We're going to have a live press conference on our website. You're going to get to hear the firsthand impressions from our 4 astronauts that went to space and back. But to all of you out there, if you like what you saw and you are serious and interested about reserving your seat on a future rocket ride to space and back with New Shepard, we've got some exciting news for you. We are open for ticket sales. Send us an email, astronauts@blueorigin.com. We can't wait to fly you to space and back. Gary, it has been an honor to share the desk with you today, the architect of New Shepard. Thank you so much for your insights. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and all the hard work of your team that has made today possible.
Thank you, Ariane. It was unforgettable.
Absolutely. The road to space is being built, everybody, and we took a huge step today. But we also need your help. If you're interested in learning more about Blue Origin or joining our extraordinary team, please visit our website. And if you'd like to commemorate today's historic launch, we also have some mission patches for you there. And that's also where you can get some apparel, some collectible gear. It is all there. Look at that sweet patch. So beautiful with the names of our new astronauts. What a day. Everybody, my name is Ariane Cornell. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure and an honor to be your host. And of course, until our next launch, Gradatum Ferociter.
Replays. Dude, the audio, the pad audio was sick, man. Gary emote. Burner. Fly, baby, fly. That's pretty cool, man. Drone cam! Yes! That's sick, man. Thanks. Rob, you didn't need to say that. What? Could be the starter, Clayton. Oh, probably a lot, Darwin, yeah. Ah, 6, Kohaku. Yeah, Dunfield, you missed it. Already launched, man. Didn't get any onboard video. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, that wasn't bad, huh? I told you you'd be more classier than other tourism competitors. I'm on Team Gary. I don't know about you guys. Hey, I found a problem. All right, cool. Yeah, here, let's check that footage again, man. Footage was freaking sweet, dude. When are you gonna hop? Oh man, when are you sending that email? I'll send one, dude. Just see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, pretty much nuclear. Yep. The liftoff audio was fantastic. Yeah, awesome, huh? I just want to see this again. This is a replay.
All right, here we go, everybody. Thousands of people contributed
true.
years to this historic moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Origin's...
I'll put in a good word for Jeff. He'll give you a discount. How about we live stream the whole thing, Benny? I appreciate that, though, man. Let's do it. You think I'm kidding? I'd fly on this, abso-freaking-lutely. Look, if Jeff has the stones to put himself on that, if Jeff will do it, that's safe enough for me. That's a hell of a product endorsement, huh? You know?
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start.
Right, Betty? Hell yeah, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Ignition. We have liftoff.
Yeah!
Shepard cleared the tower.
And New Shepard has cleared the tower.
That's excellent.
On our way to space with our first human crew. Go,
Dude,
Jeff,
go. The audio was so good, man. It was so on point. That's awesome. It goes, nuclear. It goes. Oh, dude, I love that noise, man. I love that noise. That gets me fired up every time, man. What was the top speed? They went about Mach 3, so little over 2,000 miles an hour.
Engine, we are just about to pass
Woo!
max Q, maximum dynamic
Woo!
pressure. That was when the stresses on the vehicle are at their maximum.
Yeah, Jardy's right.
Max Q.
Max Q is confirmed. Beautiful burn on that
Hydrogen rocket.
engine.
Hey, Space Explorers. Thank you for the raid.
Liquid hydrogen.
It's pretty cool, huh? So this is a replay from just a little bit earlier of Jeff, Mark, Wally, and Oliver's flight here, the NS-16 mission.
But what comes out of it, it's
Gary
steam,
designed
right?
that. Mm-hmm.
Whew. To see the
Arion's hyped.
The glow of the
listen to Arion. She's freaking into it, dude. I told you guys she's a space nutcase.
That is going to space. It just feels different, doesn't it, Gary?
It is totally.
Hey, Space Explorers.
All right, you can follow along, of course. The speedometer.
A gang of baguettes
line,
have entered the stream.
The altimeter.
Welcome,
the, middle of
baguette,
the screen there.
and happy belated Bastille Day to my French viewers.
So far, appears to be a nominal flight.
That was awesome, right? Space Explorers, thank you for the raid.
All right, coming up here on
2,200 miles an hour. She's
engine
booking.
cutoff,
It's
that will
Mach
be
3.
followed
That's
shortly
fast.
by
Very fast.
separation. And
This
at that
troop shall
point,
defend.
separation, we're gonna,
Yeah, Space. Wasn't
let
it cool?
the astronauts
This is pretty cool.
unbuckle
I'm really
and take
hyped for
freedom
Wally.
to
That's
0G.
amazing.
There is Miko, main engine cutoff. A beautiful shot.
Yeah, I know. Gary's
Down
just
the New
everywhere.
Shepard
Those
rocket
guys. Just calm down,
at
Gary.
that
Calm down.
view.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
They did a good job. They really did. They did one heck of a job,
Unreal.
guys. They did amazing. Hey, Copy Bear, what's
Awaiting
up?
Separation here.
So this is a replay, guys, from a little bit earlier. We could get to the good stuff here. Yeah, they did a very good job. I'm telling you, dudes, and I'm not just saying that because I'm under the Amazon umbrella. Freaking Blue Origin ain't screwing around no more. I've been saying this for about a year. They're not screwing around anymore. This is a pretty big deal, what you saw here today. I mean, putting people on a rocket is not something that happens all the time. That's a pretty big deal. Even though it's only suborbital, I get it. It's not orbital. I understand that. But still, putting people on any type of rocket is a big deal. How much for flight? If you have to ask, you can't afford it. You know, it's made me happy to inspire me. I expected that from the competition. Yeah, there you go. I'm an Amazon agent. Yeah, I know. Dude, I'm telling you, they aren't screwing around. They aren't screwing around, dude. You'll start to see some pretty crazy stuff. Still went to space. That's right. Do they have an ETA for the first New Glenn launch? No, Colonel. They didn't mention one. If I had to guess, if I had to throw my hat into the ring, probably sometime next year. And what I'm using for my judge is the pad. It doesn't matter how far the rocket is along. You can't launch without the launch pad. So that's my bottleneck for judging the launch.
Okay, I'm gonna start back.
It's not as bad as you think, Wept. What's the turnaround time between flights? Shouldn't be very high, to be honest with you. So, Webb, the reason why it's not very high is because you got to think the rockets are putting out a lot of gases. I mean, this one has literally no carbon emissions. New Shepard is using hydrolox, liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. You can't have carbon emissions if there's no carbon. Seriously, there's no carbon emissions from that thing. It's just water. Yeah. Last time I checked, we want more of that, right? Seriously. A byproduct of combusting liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen in a combustion chamber is water. Water vapor. Yep. Literally steam comes out the bottom. Yep. Liquid hydrogen. Yeah. This is, yeah, sweet rocket. I mean, Gary's one hell of an engineer. That is not easy to do. I will say this once, I'll say it again. This is hard to do with a rocket that's using kerosene for fuel. It's extremely hard to do with a rocket that's using hydrogen, which is amazing. It's not steam powered, no. It's a hydrolox rocket, not steam powered. Steam is a byproduct nuclear. I agree with the Gary emote. We need a Gary emote. Oh, man. They didn't announce the separation on there, but yeah. Any fossil fuels? No fossil fuels on this rocket. They probably used fossil fuels to make the hydrogen, but still, yeah, nope.
Copy, astronaut.
Yeah, you can't have carbon emissions if there's no carbon.
Copy, astronaut demo.
Because they're not doing this, Rishio. They're not flying.
Copy, astronaut Bezos.
Will New Shepard ever use the B-3U? I don't know. Maybe. Gary for president. She's cool, Chief. That's for sure.
Copy.
Look. Stand by for the sonic boom. Does Virgin use fossil fuel? Yes and no.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for our first human flight on New Shepard. So far, a nominal flight. Our booster is about to return to its landing pad. There we see engine relights. The sonic boom.
Arbalest. It's friggin' mint.
And booster touchdown. Welcome back, New Shepard.
No, okay, I don't think so.
A beautiful rocket that provided
a little bit of residual
a beautiful
flames.
Flight to space.
Great launch.
First up, your booster has landed.
Booster landed. Blue Control Bezos, that's great to hear about the booster.
I know, Swishio. Funny, huh?
And there it is, our crew capsule with our 4 crew members on board.
You have a very happy crew up here, I want you to know.
Well, if the boss says he's happy, then we good, man.
Oh yeah, I see blue.
Stand by drogues. Stand by drogues.
So this is a replay, guys, from a little bit earlier. I just wanted to show it again. It's pretty damn cool.
Stand by main.
I think so, Gohaku. I think you're right. It is free falling right now, Taj. Yeah, well, at least it was.
So far, a nominal
There's the drogue
flight.
chutes.
Here comes the crew
main
capsule
chutes right
back
there.
from space. The drogues deployed. Here are the mains out, reefing and coming to full inflation. Our rocket went over Mach 3, and now they're coming floating back down at just about 15 or 16 miles an hour, about to join us home. Back here in West Texas, after having gone over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space, the world's...
So why is hydrolox harder to do than other propellants, Euler? Long story short, hydrogen is small. The hydrogen atoms are tiny. They're very, very small. So if you have an aluminum tank wall, right, and you have hydrogen, which exists as a gas down here, guess what happens? It goes right through it. It could just weave its way right through. The hydrogen can pass through the aluminum like water going through a sieve. Just like that. Hydrogen's a pain in the butt because if you let it turn to gas, it'll go everywhere that you do not want it to go. Hydrogen is extremely difficult to deal with. So the fact that we have a Hydrolox rocket that not only goes up, comes back down, and lands and doesn't, like launching a gigantic fireball. You guys got to remember, this is using the same propellants as Delta IV Heavy. Delta IV Heavy, when it, the rocket that makes that huge fireball when it lifts off, same propellants. The fact that it doesn't do that is a testament to the engineering. Gary did a good job. He's elated. It's also really cold. You have to keep it extremely cold, Pain, to exist as a liquid, and you also have to keep it extremely cold so it doesn't turn into gas and go through everything. It'll literally go through anything, like a sieve. Oh, great, you made it out of steel. That's carbon and iron. It'll go right through that. Yep. You made it out of aluminum? Yeah, it'll go right through that too. So you really don't want it to turn to gas. That's really important. So that makes it very difficult to deal with. It'll go everywhere that you don't want it to go. If you just had a glass of liquid hydrogen and you capped it, right, and you just left it there, when you come back in the morning, it'll be empty. You left it overnight, you come back, it'll be empty in the morning. There'll be nothing in it.
Copy. Astronaut.
We're going to do space news. I think I'm going to take a break and go grab something to eat. I woke up and came right to the stream. I'm going to take a break and then I'll come back in a little bit. Yeah, no problem, Taj. Yeah, no problem, Taj. This is good stuff, man. It's a very... Dude, that's a really... This is a really difficult thing to do, man. All right, Goose. I got to run. Thanks for the stream. No problem, Weather Guy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah, if you guys want to learn more about rockets, like, not just like what you'd get from playing KSP, even though I do a lot of that. We are the champions is playing in the Blue Origin room. That's awesome. If you guys, like, okay, I'm not usually one to shamelessly plug myself, but if you want to learn more about how rockets work, more than what you'd see from KSP, that's what this stream is about. It's a STEM stream. I will teach you how this stuff works. I'm pretty dang good at it. You can teach rocket science to anybody. It's doing rocket science that's the hard part. But I can teach it to anybody. It's not that complicated. It's not that hard of a concept to understand. It's hard to do, you know? So if you like this kind of stuff, stick around. But, yeah, I'll be back a little bit later than in the day. It's just like a car. Actually, Chris, I use car analogies a lot to explain this stuff because I always say what a rocket does inside of its combustion chamber and what a car does inside its combustion chamber is pretty much the same thing. Only a car takes that chemical energy and converts it to mechanical work. A rocket takes that chemical energy and converts it into thrust. So instead of pushing a piston up and down, right, in a reciprocating motion, the rocket just pushes the gas out the bottom. You should have put Bezos hats on everybody in your camera. That would have been an awesome idea, Benny. I should have. Boy. So, guys, I will be back in probably about 2 hours, give or take. I'm going to be back here around noon, and what we're going to do today is we're going to play KSP. I usually do a space news segment during the afternoon where we talk about space and what's going on, but I think we've already done that today. So, Gary is very excited, you can tell. I want Gary in Mission Control. Can I put Gary up in here? Just Gary, just, you know. Thanks for streaming this, no problem. Bacon, hey, 15-month resub. So, yeah, we gotta put Gary up in here. Gary, we need Gary in here. I gotta find somebody to make an alpha channel of Gary so we could put Gary in here. Please, he deserves it. I want Gary in here. Yes. Okay, all right, we'll do it. All right, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the coverage. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm just gonna go grab something to eat. And honestly, we're gonna stream pretty much for the rest of the day. When I get back at noon, it's gonna be all Kerbal. We have some work to do with our SSTO that we're designing over there. So if you like rockets, you like playing Kerbal, you like STEM, come back in a little bit. I am streaming all the rest of the day starting at noon, so that's in about 2 hours. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. And remember, Gary for president. Okay? Gary for president. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a little bit.